If you lose it, you can jump back on, or we'll try to get everything out of the way before then. All right, everyone. Welcome to Political Head Trauma. This is kind of an impromptu one. We're on with our Congresswoman Celeste Maloy. I heard somewhere you're supposed to, even if they're female, call them congressman.
I answered either one. I don't care.
I guess it really doesn't matter.
Representative is gender neutral, and then you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, that's true. Gender neutral. Congressperson. We could go down all of this stuff. But anyways, thank you for coming on. And there's a lot going on right now in government. And I know Holly, she'll be on here in a few minutes, and she has some stuff. And I know everyone, it looks like she's driving, but that's just the camera reverses it. So
I am on the
she's not driving.
Side.
She's a passenger.
There's no steering wheel.
Yeah, she's just, yeah, or she's got a magic car. But anyways, I just wanted to, thank her for coming on and ask you about what's going on with the shutdown. What do we need to know? We hear rumors from both sides. And if you could just kind of fill us in on what your view of it is.
Yeah, so I am an appropriator in the House, and we marked up all 12 of our appropriations bills, moved them out of committee. 3 of the 12 have passed on the House floor. We're on track to be done, but the Senate's behind us. So we passed a clean 7-week CR out of the House just to give us 7 more weeks for the rest of the 9 bills in the House to move across the floor, and all of them to move in the Senate, and then we'll have to conference to reconcile the differences between the Senate bills and the House bills. But if we can do that, get it on the president's desk, that's the regular order that everybody keeps asking for. So we were on track to do that. We just need a little bit more time. So we voted on a clean CR. Clean means there's no riders, no poison pills, no changes in policy in there. In fact, that's what Democrats said they wanted. They said they wanted us to run a clean CR, and then when we did, Senate Democrats voted against it. So the reason the government's shut down right now is because Democrats in the Senate wouldn't pass a clean CR to give us a chance to finish our appropriations bills. So, you hear everyone out there calling it the Schumer shutdown. That's why, because Chuck Schumer's conference, Senate Democrats, stopped a clean CR from going through. By the way, the same clean CR that they voted for in March. And we've passed clean CRs, I think, 14 times in the last 5 years. So it's baffling to me that this is the hill they want to die on, because when the government opens back up, and it will open back up eventually, then we have to go through all the appropriations bills. And that's where the real fight would be if I were in their shoes. But I think they're going to use up all their political capital on the CR, which is just an extension of the budget we're under right now. So I don't really know. Politically, this is kind of baffling to me. I don't know what their end game is. They don't know what their end game is. So usually if you go into a shutdown, it's usually Republicans. We have this down. Usually you say there's a thing, something matters to us so much that we'd rather shut the whole government down than give up on that thing. But Senate Democrats didn't articulate a thing. They talked about a lot of things. They talked about the Obamacare subsidies. They talked about rolling back the tax cuts that we just made permanent. They talked about changing the language in the One Big Beautiful Bill that says illegal immigrants can't be on Medicaid. They kind of had this hodgepodge of things. And now the media has kind of done them a favor and said that they're coalesced around one ask, which is the Obamacare subsidies. But that's a $1.5 trillion ask. So to have a $1.5 trillion ask on a 7-week that's not negotiation. That's just insanity. Like, that is non-starter. So I don't know what their off-ramp is. I don't know what is going to make them decide they want to reopen the government. But usually when we do it, we have to spend more money in negotiations. They're not used to negotiating the other way, where they're probably going to have to negotiate some cuts.
So they wanted to, you broke up just a little bit there. Repeat the number again, how much they want for 7 weeks.
$1.5 trillion in ACA subsidies, so the Obamacare subsidies that they made temporary. It is Democrats who set them to expire this year, and now that's the bargaining chip they want to use to reopen the government.
Oh my gosh. It's. Do you think they did it just to poison it to force a shutdown?
Chuck Schumer took a lot of heat back in March when the government opened. A lot of Democrats said that he was enabling President Trump. And so I think he just didn't want to take the heat this time, decided to vote to shut it down. Is turning the keys of they don't shut down the White House. The White House keeps going. They keep operating, but Congress isn't there. And the agencies are down to essential employees only. So if what they want to do is stop the president, they didn't do it. If what they want to do was have a clear, cohesive political message, they didn't do it. And shutdowns are hugely disruptive. They're disruptive to the military. In a state like Utah, we have a lot of public land, a lot of federal employees, people who are just trying to make a living and put food on the table now don't know when they're going back to work and when they'll get paid. It's a lot of drama, and the American people don't really like shutdowns. Sometimes it's worth going through that temporary pain for a long-term win, but they haven't articulated what they think the long-term win is. So they're just causing pain for no reason, and it's not a very good political strategy.
So, okay, so the rhetoric coming out of the media and the left is that they're shutting it down to kill healthcare for everyone. The rhetoric coming out of the right is they're shutting it down because Schumer wants to force health insurance or supplemental whatever for illegal immigrants. But it sounds like it's something in between, that there was a temporary Obamacare. We're getting a lot of feedback and noise, guys. I apologize for that. There's a temporary Obamacare medical package that was temporary, but they are trying to force that into probably just to force the shutdown because, let's face it, that deal that just happened with Charlie Kirk has probably been a huge loss to the Democrats. And I think they're hoping that they can tack a loss on to match it on the administration because midterms are only a year away. Well, the run up to midterms are a year away. Am I reading that right, do you think?
They must think this is a winning midterm strategy for them. For the life of me, I can't figure out how they think that.
I think you're right. Man, I guess it depends on how long it goes and what's the outcome, who wins it. But the administration holds all the cards on this one.
Yep. And
hi, Fred.
Hi.
Can you guys hear me okay?
No, we cannot
quiet.
hear you.
Okay, how about now?
Kinda.
Yeah. Okay, I just wanted to first say hi, Congresswoman. It's so good to see you, Fred. And I speaking of Charlie Kirk, I saw you on the television during the memorial, and I was so happy to see you were there.
Can you
I'm
hear?
really glad I got to be there.
Yeah, this is everyone. The sound, because we got two people who are just on phone. This is impromptu. Our Congresswoman gave us the opportunity to hear what she has to say on a kind of intimate level, impromptu. So we need to thank her for this and give deference for all the beautiful sound quality we get out of it.
Well, I wanted to.
Yeah, I apologize.
What I'm hearing from our voters, a lot of them are on the fence, especially independents, because they think this is possibly Trump's fault. The only fault I think Trump's fault all
Oh,
polls I've seen were prior to the shutdown, they were blaming Trump.
yeah, she can't hear you.
Somebody's got to mute their stuff while you're talking.
What if we kill my camera and Holly's camera and it doesn't take as much bandwidth? Will that help the sound quality?
We can try it.
Let's try it.
Okay. All right. No,
Okay,
it's
let's see if
really
that
not
helps.
helping.
I think we just need to mute. We need to mute and
What?
let each other talk.
I don't really have a way to mute on my side. That would have to be on your guys' side. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so I guess what I was getting at is before the shutdown, the voters were polling, independents especially, they believed it was the Republican Party's fault. I think, as always, the Dems don't have the kind of messaging. They have a better messaging system for the media than we do on our side. However, they haven't done any polling in the 3 days since the shutdown, so we don't know what people are really thinking and what messaging is getting out. I do know 1.5 billion trillion, excuse me, that is getting out. So they know that is a huge amount that the Dems are trying to get over on our party. We don't want that, of course, but I hope, and I hope for you, Celeste, that we are getting the messaging out to what's really going on and make sure people understand this cut and dry, that this is not what the media is telling us it is, right?
Yeah, I've done my best. I've been on every radio show I can get on in Utah. I send out an email to everyone who subscribes to my newsletter explaining what's open and what's not and why this happened. If you don't subscribe to my newsletter, go to the website and sign up, because I send out an email every Friday with a video explaining what's happening. But I do think the messaging is getting, just from me, but from all the Republicans in Congress, because I've seen polling that shows that the vast majority of Americans think this is a Democrat shutdown, and they can't name the reason for the shutdown. We're much better at when we have a shutdown of saying what it is we're holding out for. They haven't articulated that. The media has done it for them, but America's not really buying it. So hopefully it ends soon. Hopefully the quickest and most efficient way to end this shutdown is for Senate Democrats to just pass the clean CR that the House already passed.
I agree. That's one thing that I have heard. The media hasn't even been able to explain this, except to say the Republicans don't want to give health care to the underprivileged. And it's a temporary Obamacare sign-on. Can we let that twilight and then let something official come in? I mean, why do we have to keep continuing all these temporary things at such a high cost? Look, I'm tired of paying taxes. Let's just face it. I'm getting a little tight.
No,
All right,
and that's
let's have
the problem.
Celeste.
Yeah, the problem is the Republicans won't pass it. So the thing they're saying they're holding out for, even if they got it through the Senate, which they're not going to, it wouldn't pass in the House. There are already too many House members who've said that they won't vote for it. And so they chose the wrong bargaining chip, and the question now is, can they back off of that and choose a different bargaining chip? And so far they're not, but it's only been 4 days. We'll see. That the pressure will keep mounting. No one's missed a paycheck yet. When our troops are feeling the squeeze and our neighbors and our friends aren't getting paid and services that people are counting on aren't there, it'll be a different story next week and the next week. So hopefully they get this resolved quickly.
Yeah, it definitely feels like if Schumer relents, he'll be hammered by the Democrats. So he put himself in a awful situation with this. It's just, I don't think he could have done anything dumber.
AOC's going to primary him.
No offense to be taken here, friend, but I wouldn't mind if Congress and the Senate lost their paychecks during a shutdown. I think that would be fair, because it can't work, right?
It's funny that you say that. I've had this conversation several times in the last few days. Everyone asks that. And there are some members who are going to sign letters and send it to the Treasury saying, please withhold my pay until the government's open. But it really doesn't actually do anything because the Constitution says that we have to get paid. So it would take a constitutional amendment to stop our pay. And so everybody arrives at that pretty quickly. The fairest way to do this would be for Congress to not get paid, and yet we can't do that without amending the Constitution. So it really is an unfair bind that we have put the country in. We were right on track to get our appropriations bills done on time, and now we have a shutdown, and it's a really senseless, nonsensical kind of shutdown.
Here's
I wanted to mention something quickly about AOC. I noticed that Pelosi got really upset when AOC said, Republicans know where my office is. You can come talk to me. Isn't her office right across from you, Celeste? And that invitation, and Pelosi said she has no business even offering that. Hilarious.
Well, I can tell you as someone whose office is right across from hers, her door is not open. It's always locked. And also the house isn't in town. You can see I'm traveling through Utah right now. But yeah, that was a bluff. Her door is always locked. You cannot get into her office. I thought that was funny when I heard that.
Yeah, and I can tell you she's not there because there's still a sticker hanging up that she would remove if she was ever there. Yeah, it's I want to get a push from our people to go and start decorating your door like people decorate hers, but I want it decorated correctly. I want it decorated with little flags and thank you notes and cards. I want good stuff. So if any Utahns ever back in DC, reach out to Congressperson Maloy and go and visit her office staff. Maybe she can get you a tour of the tunnels. Not right now, obviously, because but get you a tour of the tunnels. Go down and check out the congressional store. They've got a store down there. It's pretty wild. And go but leave a friendly note on her door, appreciating her. And if I hear any of you guys put anything nasty on her door, I will personally hunt you down and I will put a burning bag of something on your doorstep. Promise.
Wow, you're terrifying. You're terrifying, Jared.
Professionalism.
I wanted to ask, if possible, why I have you. We have just got a call to action regarding the redistricting, Celeste, and your district is getting thrown all over the place. The party has taken a stand and asked people to go for map C, which takes you from not living in our district anymore. I have to know, what are your thoughts? I can't even imagine this.
So I have no say in redistricting. The state legislature draws maps, but I will say one of the things people are getting really hung up on is where the numbers are, and the numbers don't really mean anything. So I'm in District 2. If the town I live in ends up in District 4, I run in District 4. And so I've had people call me all panicked saying, District 2 is clear up in the northern corner of the state. What are you going to do? I will run in whatever district I live in. But other than that, I don't have any control over this, so I'm just not stressing too much about it. We'll see what happens next week when the legislature chooses a map. I think they're still planning to appeal this. I don't know what the judge is going to do, but I know it's something that I have no control over.
Well, I was just bothered because I want rural Utah together, and they're putting us with Salt Lake, West Valley, Magna, and Davis, which we're already with a little bit of Salt Lake and Davis, but we are more rural. We have more in common with your rural down south than we do with Salt Lake, for example. And so I was just curious your thoughts, and I get it. I hope it's appealed. I don't understand why this is even a thing. I mean, we just redistrict in 2020. Why do this now and not wait till 2030? I don't know. But I was a little worried about what it would look like with my congressperson.
Well, I like the district I'm in now. I wish it was just not going to change. But the state got sued and the judge said they have to change it. And so I'm going to play whatever hand I'm dealt.
Yeah, that sounds like I mean, there's not much you can do to control it from back there except maybe let your voice be known. But here we've got to fight for it. I happen to like my representative, and I don't want to see any shakeups to where, I mean, then I'll have to chat with someone else's representative when I have questions.
If you have to get someone else, I'll introduce you.
Good. If I get yeah, they better be, you know where I stand. They better be good on the First Amendment and Second Amendment. Other than that, you know, I don't care where they stand. We'll get along fine.
Yeah, you're easy to get along with.
I hope so. I try to be. So the shutdown, we got to see if Schumer will fold quickly. If not, how long, what's the longest shutdown we've had? What is it, 26 days or something?
I think I think the Obama shutdown was like 31 days.
31 days. So that's, what do those employees, what do they generally do for those 31 days while they're sitting at home? Do they just, because we know they get paid back after, but do they just sit on their laurels?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit like COVID, where everyone's at home and they learn how to make sourdough and try to control the panic. One of my colleagues who's retired Air Force said, you know, it doesn't really help if you're deployed and your minivan's getting repossessed to know that you're going to get back pay in time for Christmas. So, yes, we've always paid them back eventually, but it would be better to just do our job, keep the government funded, pass appropriations bills, control the purse strings like we're supposed to, and not throw a bunch of citizens who have no control over this into chaos and trauma that they have no say in.
Yeah, I think Schumer's gamble is not very bright, because everyone who's already on his side are the only ones who will be up in arms about what he wants. Everyone else who's either in the middle ground on it or opposed to having these constant bills going out to pay for temporary health care for whoever, they're just going to get more angry at him. I think he's going to lose support over this, and I think he's going to lose it pretty quick.
Yeah, I think so too. In fact, I don't think he thought the name Schumer shutdown would stick. But even some of the media that's usually friendly to him is starting to call this the Schumer shutdown. I think this is a big reality check for Democrats who are used to us getting blamed. I am about to go into an area where I'm really going to lose signal, and your viewers have been very patient with the technical difficulties. So we should probably wrap up in the next couple minutes. I'm so sorry. This didn't work out as well in execution as it seemed like it would in theory.
Celeste, this worked out perfect. We got to hear firsthand from a professional. So that was perfect. The sound doesn't have to be outstanding for it to be perfect. Is there anything you want in the last few minutes you want to pass on? Any words of wisdom?
So if you are someone who's concerned about the shutdown, please go to my website. We've got information on there about what's open, what's not, how to get a hold of us, what we can help with. And we'll keep updating that as this goes on. Hopefully it's over soon, but if it's not, you're going to need to know where to go to get information, even on the parks, what's open, what's not. We've got that on the website. So I'm trying to be as responsive and informative as possible during the shutdown. My offices are open. My people are working. We're still here to serve our constituents.
All right. Now I'm throwing your website in the show notes right now. Thank you very much for your time. If you're concerned or if you have questions or comments, reach out to her. Even if you have complaints, reach out to her. Just don't leave any nasty messages on her door. I will get revenge.
It's always good to see you too. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you. And it's open anytime, and hopefully we get to see you again soon in person. We'll go have a chat.
Yeah. We're so grateful for the work you do and how involved you are with the citizenry. I can't thank you enough. You are probably the busiest person I know. So please thank Brian for me. I'm sure he's part of this. Give him my love, and thank you so much for doing this. I wish we could do it in person next time.
All right. Thank you, Celeste. You have a wonderful night. Okay. All right, Holly. Well, we did what we could with what we had. Holly is in parts unknown, heading to places unknown. Celeste is back home in her home state like she should be, doing the work for you guys, even though she's shut down. And me, of course, I'm just getting ready for an elk hunt. So, yeah.
Yeah, we have moved our show to Wednesdays, hopefully in the future, but we're still kind of figuring that out. But we still on track for that, friend?
Yeah, so far. We couldn't get it this Wednesday because there was a pre-scheduled meet the candidates down in southern Utah or central southern Utah. I don't know. Technically, southern Utah starts at like Draper, but there was a meet the candidates that was already on, so we had to postpone that. We got this impromptu. I want to thank Celeste, Chief of Staff, for kind of working through and setting this up. He's always outstanding. You mentioned him, Brian. And of course, I want to thank Celeste. I want to thank her whole staff. I want to give a little bit of heartfelt, I don't know what the word is. I hope, I feel bad about people that, I feel bad for the people who are shut down right now. And I'm sorry about that. And I'm sorry you get caught up in politics. And I know there's no consolation, but I hope it works out. I would honestly, going forward, I hope more of them say, I'm going to pursue a career in the free market. And, that way you're not beholden to the politicians quite as much and different political whims. But
And I'd like to add that tonight in Tooele County, there's a meet the candidates for the local races, the municipalities. And that's going to be at the church next to Burgess at 7 p.m. They're doing a Q&A there.
At the Calvary Church?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
So
It's right there in the Verges. Yeah. Between Verges and Rome, I believe it is, the Italian restaurant.
Our page, and I've posted where you can meet the candidates in the upcoming weeks. And we'll just keep that just for those of you voting in the Tooele City. They give us information, so I always share it. I hope that Grantsville will give us some information. I've not heard anything from them, but if you stay tuned or follow the city pages, they should be saying when they'll do the meet the candidates nights. But please go to them if you have a vote in these local elections. Who you choose is so important.
All right. Well, Holly, you get in and do what you got to do. Thank you for taking time out of your very important day, and give your best to everyone who is there for me. And with everyone, that'll be our show for today. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully we can get with Celeste again. And again, this was impromptu for everyone. So if we had more time and more space, I would have, everyone would have had mics set up, even if they're on the road, that could control this. And I see a little head poking out behind you.
Yeah. Now you're live, Ryan.
Hi, Ryan. That's okay. You guys going?
I'm going to go.
Yep. Go.
I do appreciate everybody tuning in. I really do. And I hope if you have questions, you'll reach out to Celeste directly or reach out to our party. We are the Tooele County Republican Party page. We will try to keep you updated. This video will be on that page, but we want you to hear from her herself. And there's nothing better than a congresswoman person that's willing to come on our little show and talk to our audience, because she understands that it's important to talk to everyone, and we're just so grateful for her.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And message for Schumer. Come on. Pull your head out.
Sense of humor. These memes are hilarious. Just laugh. Like, matter, and I don't think the Democrat Party's happy with him.
I don't.
Is great for us, but him and Joaquin Jeffries, they look like fools. They're literally lying. They're lying in the media, and it's laughable at this point that anyone still buys it. I just don't get it.
Okay, so Lauren says, I went to vote with my 19-year-old daughter in November. We voted for the candidate who is out on bail. 200K foster bail bonds. Was found guilty of felonies and was found liable for SA. Oh my gosh, that's heavy, Lauren. It's in Georgia.
Wow.
That is tough when you vote for someone and I guess that's the roll of the dice. Hopefully you weren't voting for someone because of those reasons, but when you vote for someone, they do, there is times when elected political officials will commit crimes and hopefully where you live, they have accounted for that and made it so it's possible to wash them out, to go a different way. And I don't care what party you vote for. I don't think you should judge a whole party based on one person at any given time. So let's say you voted for a Democrat and that's the way you lean and you want to continue voting Democrat, although I may find that, illogical, but I would hope that you don't blame the whole party for one individual, because we know both parties get individuals to come in and out and that are not always the best. Next Wednesday, I may not be here. If we get service up on the side of the mountain, I will of course call in. If we don't, then Holly will have to manhandle this by herself. Although I do have so much to talk about, that Hegseth calling all his command staff in, I've got a lot to talk about that. Maybe dive into some conspiracy and all the fun stuff, but we got to hold off on that. Holly does need to run. She needs to go and do her stuff. Lauren, thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us.
I'm sorry, but I think the military and law enforcement should have to pass tests, and they shouldn't be lowered for standards. I mean, I get that a lot of people are up in arms over it. We don't need to get into it now. We could talk about it later.
I love it.
I absolutely love it. I want our military to be feared and admired and something with class attached to it that it deserves. And so, short haircuts and none of that gender fluid anywhere and
no skirts on the admirals. No, I think I wonder if it's not a way. Obama washed out a lot of field grade officers when he was in circa like 2012. He washed a lot of them out. Anyone who didn't politically agree with him. And I wonder if this is a way that Hegseth can wash out those very officers that remained that kind of corrupted our military over the last decade. If he can't wash them out by putting standards on them that they won't rise to meet just because of who the standards got set by. And that'll wash it out and bring an equilibrium back to our military. I want our military to be apolitical, and we've lost that because of Obama's actions back then. But anyways, Holly, give my best to your family. This is, a big time, and everyone will let you go. And Holly, will see you Wednesday and maybe me, and then I'll see you the Wednesday after.
Okay. Bye, friends.
Bye-bye.